Hello everyone, and welcome to my C++ video where we're going to be doing a walkthrough, and I'm going to show you how C++ programs how they use functions pretty much to perform arithmetic operations. If you're new to coding, don't worry, I'm still kind of new, but I'm learning. I'm gonna kind of walk you through this entire thing step by step. So we're going to start with the basics in the C++ function. A function is pretty much a block of code that, performs a specific task. You give it something and then it does something and it gives you a result back. This kind of just makes the code easier to understand. Um, and as you can see, right here, this is a prime example of how us giving a function something, A and B, and it's going to do something. I can't explain exactly what it does because it computes it on its own, but after that, it will give you something in return. So here is our goal, which is to compute this expression here, which is pretty much negative, open parentheses, 5 minus 4 times 8 divided by 2 plus 7, close parentheses. And it looks a bit complex, but then again, it's not. I mean, anybody that's kind of familiar with algebra, you know that you use PEMDAS to kind of solve this, but in this case, we're going to be using a C++ compiler to do the problem for us. So here you see all of our different functions, and I'm just going to go over each function and kind of define what each function does. So here, which is pretty, and it's pretty self-explanatory, but here we have our plus function, which is, pretty much adding two numbers. Then the second function here is our minus function, which is subtracting one number from another. Then we have our multiplication function, which is just going to be, multiplying two numbers. Then we have our division function, pretty much just going to divide two different integers or two different numbers to give us a specific result. Then we have our negate function here, which is pretty much just turning a positive number into a negative number. And we're going to use each and every one of these functions to pretty much come together and give us our answer. So now we're going to go into what each one is going to do. So as you can see down here, you can kind of run through it. 5 minus 4 gives us 1. And then, divide 8 times 2, or 8 divided by 2, which is going to give us 4. And then you multiply 1 and 4, and that's going to give us 4, of course. And then, you'll add 7 onto that 4, which will give us 11. So once we have that complete number, then we're negate it, and it's going to give us a negative number, which is going to be negative 11. Will be pretty much our final result. So I'm gonna run this program, and it'll show you how these functions just come together to give you an answer. So all I'm gonna do is press run up here, and down here it will give you negative 11, as you can see at the bottom here, once you run this code. I will go into initial main here, which is, just our main function. We don't declare any variables in this function. Instead, we kind of just nest our function directly inside of it, which prints our result. So that's exactly what we did here. We just pretty much put our function in here, and it's going to give us our result, or print our result, which is printed down here. And this just shows you how functions can be, pretty much composed to build complex logic and, give us a clean and readable way of solving the problem. Um, and pretty much that's about it for my video. Any questions, comments, concerns, don't be afraid to reach out. That's all I got. Thanks.